an incredible life story. 22 prison sentences, car chases, all of these stories, so I'm interested to get started.
I remember going up to Berlin, up to the gates, man. Sitting going, what am I going to get into here? A lifer, the guy doing 15 years, was in the back. Bank robber doing 8 years in the front. And I'm driving. But they nearly caught me. I was in, see my mate that came up. I was in his house. I've shoved my mate out first. And then I went out. I went, they might be down below. Next thing the two walls popped their head. Oh, you're right. So I threw my mate out the landing, went in and locked the door. And I just sat in the window ledge and just jumped. And I landed on the deck, just battered my head, and just jumped to the wall. And I was just to the wall, lying down in the poles like that. Right, back secure. So I got woke up with my missus saying, "Robbers, cunts, booting fuck out the front door." And I've looked, and the crime squad was coming up the stairs with baseball bats. So I've just jumped out the toilet window and flattened one of the screws. Right in his head, man. Fucking right here.
Robert Lindsay, it's good to have you on the show, my friend.
Good to be here, mate.
It's good to see you. So, an incredible life story. 22 prison sentences, car chases, all of these stories. So I'm interested to get started, and I'll take you back to the first chapter of your life.
I don't know, first chapter, probably school, done well, brilliant. Plumbing apprenticeship. During my apprenticeship, completed my apprenticeship. Me and my dad, brilliant, working away. Had a brand new scooter, brand new, had everything. And then I took the wrong road. So.
What age would you say you started going downhill, first introduced to the drug scene?
All through my apprenticeship, I was smoking hash. But I was all right in the morning to go to college and all that. You know yourself, you don't need hash. So, and at that time it was solid. It wasn't just that mad stuff, green or whatever. So, from 15 to probably 21 was just hash.
So your behaviour was all right then? You weren't involved in any crime?
No,
you were doing well in
no.
work? So, when did you start getting involved in the heavier drugs, the hard drugs?
Well, it was started snorting Thames. I don't know if you heard them. Thames Jeezies, a wee white tablet. They were rife in the prison service, honest to God. So started snorting them and then taking speed. Used to take speed and sit with my pals and play that off second records and all that. And then just went for there. My wee mate, I don't want to mention the name, but he gave me my first hit. So that was me injecting Thames at 21.
Right.
Say, right, so.
When did you move on to the other stuff?
Well, I was on Thames for probably about 24. First, that's heroin.
Right. Would you say that's when your life started to spiral out of control?
Well, when I was 21 and I could hide it from my ma, I couldn't date myself. So if my wee mate wasn't there, I couldn't inject myself. I couldn't do it. So it was only when he was there. So it kind of went like that for a while, and then it showed us how to date myself. And then.
So see, obviously then you're deep in the heavy drugs. You're injecting heroin. Your mind is totally the opposite of what it was when you were hard working in your plumber's job. Then that's when the crime started to happen, so that you could feed the habit. Where were you? What was your first prison sentence? Do you remember? What age were you?
So see when I still had my licence, I was all speedings and the usual, and I get banned for 6 months for totting up. And the 23rd of February, and I get caught driving on the 24th and the 28th, right? So within 5 days I've been disqualified. I'd been caught driving while disqualified twice.
Right.
So I got a year ban, then a 4-year ban, then I done that. Fuck yous. I'm driving in. So at that point, I was just introduced to another guy. He turned up one day with a red Orion and he had a dent in the side. And he turned up the next day with another red Orion, same regi plate, but no dent. I says, how the fuck did you do that? He says, come out with me and I'll show you. So I went out with him and we were just pushing motors out driveways, that kind of thing.
Aye.
And then what he was doing, he was taking the key numbers out, right? But I knew that a 32mm socket fitted to the barrel. So that and a wee bar eventually went on to a 15mm shifting spanner.
So
right?
it became really easy for you to steal these
I could
vehicles then,
steal
so you were a
any
natural
motor,
at it. Any motor back then?
Honest, any motor started then.
Right, so see,
Right.
what was your first conviction then? So you were, was it Berlin you went to your first prison?
It was a remand. I remember I was always getting bail because my dad kept me. I was still working, trying to hide it from my mum, all that shit. And I was getting bail all the time because of the job. And then remanded, 3-week remand, arse out of trousers, shut my cell, into cell 10.
Is that in, what hall was that you were put
No,
in?
that's down in the cells at the Sheriff Court.
Right, okay.
Cell 10 is a big, massive cell where you're not going to the bail cell to get out, you're going to Berlin.
So you know you're getting a sentence
So
then?
I know I'm going for
You
a
know you're
3-week
going to get your remand. Aye.
Right. So, try to play it, just being a good listener. And you hear that much shit in there, honest to God. I know this term, I've done this, that. So I just listened. At that time, it was near a line, so it was just a big bus. So you just cuffed to another guy and that was you. So I remember going up to Berlin, up to the gates, man. Sitting going, what am I going to get in here? Anyway, I'll try and talk you through it as quick as I can, but gets into, first gate opens, lorry drives in, or the bus, and that door shuts, bang, big fucking bang, you're like, oh, you bastard, what the fuck was that?
Sorry,
then-
what age were you again when you were getting in there for the first
24,
time? 24.
24-year-old.
Get in on the bus with all these nutters, the gate shutting. What was you're saying your ass fell out your trousers?
Well, I don't
What
know.
was that? What kind of feeling would that be like? What did you have?
It's like getting into the unknown, right? And knowing I'm going to the big house, right? I've heard that much about it. Always escaped bail. Now I'm getting into it. So it was Strathclyde Police at the time. It was near the lines.
So see
he-
when you went through the process, of getting processed in and you ended
Aye.
up, what hall was it?
Sea Hall.
So you landed in Sea Hall and your first day, your second day, that was entertaining.
First day in, they put us on. It says that Sea Hall 5 admissions. So they shout you out one by one. So you got a wee door card and the gate shouts, top flat 1 admission. So away I goes up the top flat. Fucking amazed at this place. So number 413 I get put into and they put a wee door card on your door. So I get my first visit next day and it was a lassie, I was staying in her house. And she brought me a balloon and in the balloon was 10 DFs and a wee bit of hash.
So she was doing dropping a parcel
She
after you
dropped- aye.
on a visit,
In the visit, right?
And how were you getting
I
it?
just, I
Through
just swallowed it.
so
right?
through a kiss.
I kiss, swallowed it up to my cell. I can get them up sick. But what I did was tied a knot spat it in my bin, took a balloon out, threw it in my bin. First time in the jail, didn't know what I'm doing. Swallowed the diffs. That was me squared up. That night, I had a wee pipe, smoked a hash. And then, next day, Scrooge came in. And I knew you shouldn't have. I was like, nah, none. He's like, right, the search you in the cell. And he's went out. And he's come back in, out, and he's done that. What's that? He's got two bits of balloon, right? And I was like, where the fuck did you get that? He says, that was in your bin, you wee prick. Where'd you get that? You don't get them at canteen. I was like, I've not seen that before. So he went out and fucking slammed the door. Went to a visit the next day. Same thing.
Another parcel?
Just a wee parcel of diffs, enough to keep me going that day, none big. And I've got my push pot on the bed.
Aye.
And I'm trying to be sick to bring it up. And then the next thing, the door flies open. And in here, what the fuck you doing? I says, 2 bags of Ray chips here, boss. I says, he says, ripped the place apart. And he's found my pipe.
Where was that? You had a good stash?
Then you could open the window and throw shite bombs out, right? Because a shite bomb, what people doesn't know, is there was no toilets at the time, it was just a push pot. So if you needed a shite, you told anybody was in, face the wall, I'm doing a shite, you shat in the paper, stinking, threw it out, boom! You heard them splatter every 15 minutes.
So what were you supposed to, what was the regulation then? Were you supposed to keep that in your cell until you were ready?
No, you threw them out the window and they had bombers, a bomb control that went down with a wheelbarrow, a big gloves and a shovel and shoveled all the shite, all the bombs.
And that was their job?
That was their job,
That must have been traumatic, even
that was
slotting
it was all old men that did it. It wasn't any hardened criminals that did the shite bombs, it was all old men.
So he's found you.
He's found my pipe and he went, right, what's this? And I was like, where'd you get that? He went, it's fucking at your window. It's no fucking been weathered. He says, so you've been fucking using it. I said, I've never seen that. We fucking crumpled up, done that. I don't know where it's in your belly, up your arse, wherever the fuck it is. He said, but I'll fucking get you. So, next day, went to a visit. I've still got it inside me. I've not even got a chance to get it out. Bang, door in. And they set me up with half a joint.
So they've planted a half a joint?
Planted a half a joint. Said they found it on the vent. He's like, right, Lindsay, come in. So I went in and what they did was put a joint on the table and they opened it up till they seen the wee bits of cannabis. He says, right, you're on report, governor's report. So I don't know what a governor's report is. I don't know. It just says you're on report, shut the door.
And this is you're only in there a couple of days
That's
at this
my
point?
third day in, mate. Fucking, anyway. Next day, right, orderly room. I'm saying, where's the orderly room? What's happening? So I just followed the other boys that were gone. So it was like something at McVicker. Governor. Two screws stunning. And then I've got 2 screws facing that way and I'm facing the governor. The governor asked me about in your cell. He reads through the charge. The charge reads what's so much hours in the cell at 4:13 on the day this was found in your cell. You're the only one in the cell. Where you go to say? I says, they put it there. He says, you accusing my officers? I said, aye, definitely. I said, I don't smoke. So what the fuck did I want a joint for? Felt like saying they fucking broke my pipe or I don't know. But anyway, so that was me. So it put me in a rule 39 closed visits, right?
So that was you then. You
That
couldn't get your
means-
parcels then.
And I was like, what does a rule mean? A rule is you're just locked up constant. You're fed in your room, right? You're only out inside exercise. You don't get exercise with everybody else. You get exercise yourself on the landing.
Aye. So see
Right.
when you were trying to get your parcels in after that then, you're saying a closed visit, so was it a screen?
Aye, a
So
screen.
you couldn't get it?
But in the old Berlin, there was 3 windies. Sometimes you could get the bird in the back to open it and just lift it up. No, it was like a windy, because sometimes if the visit room was full and there was somebody that was on open visits, they sat them at a closed visits thing and opened the window, right? But I had a wee guy, and I was talking to me, this bird, I says, look, give him a wee kiss on the way out. So he leaned there, gave her a wee kiss as if he knew him. Going in, but anyway.
Oh, he got the parcel for you then?
Aye, but did the 3-week remand, and then I get 4 months, and appealed against it because I was on this rule, because I was just locked up constant. First time in Berlin, and they came up a couple of days later and let me out an interim lib,
So that was you.
which means I'm getting liberated to go in appeal hearing.
Right, so that was
Right.
you were getting released then, back out?
At the reception, got my clothes back on, and that was me out.
So see when you got out, right?
Aye.
Obviously you never learned your lesson.
No.
So you were right back on the drugs, right back into the car theft, even worse than what you were before you went in.
Oh, it was a revolving door, mate. See, the minute you go out, the night before, you're arranging a charge, because you get out at 7:30, 6:30 or 7 o'clock then. You get out before everybody was opened up, you know what I mean? No, it's different, but you were arranging, because you kidded yourself on. You says, well, I deserve that for being in here, do you know what I mean?
Aye.
So the minute you go out, and it was only a matter of time, just
back to your old tricks again. So see, I know you had many incidents, and we've not got enough time to go through all of these things, but give me some highlights with your most memorable car chases, one of them anyway, that you would say.
yeah, probably the worst one was me and my wee mate taught him to drive, and I had a Toyota MR2, and I was going to put plates on it, and I was taken up to the Casey, and a guy wanted an Orion gear, so I seen man, so an air opened the door, stole it. So I'm in Orion gear, Frankie is in the MR2. So we're both the Sucky Hall Street, but we've got to cross 3 lanes to go into the motorway, to go in the M8, to go to the Casey. So when I crossed 3 lanes, Frankie crossed 3 lanes, and so did this red Porsche. And I'm watching it in my wing mirror all the way. So came off at the Casey, Cran Hall cut off. I come off, Frankie come off, the red Porsche come off. Go to the lights, so crossed the motorway bridge, pulled on at a bus stop. I pull on, Frankie pulls on, and the red Porsche falls on. So I'm saying, so I've waited to the lights, I've just ready to go to red, and I screamed out, and Frankie screamed out, and that was us going up to Queensley into the industrial estate, where Tower Taxis was, right? Spent a lot of my time there doing, all the taxi drivers took all the spare wheels and all that, and made a lot of money with it. They were all fucking mad. Anyway, and I said to wee Frankie, who the fuck's sat in that red Porsche? He's like, Rabbit's an old woman. Says she's about fucking 60 or something, but there's a wee lassie about 10 in the passenger seat. I said, that's everywhere. I said, no. I said, I've been watching it.
So you're wondering, why is this red Porsche keep following us a bit?
Where the fuck is this cunt? So I says, we'll go down to Wee Widdy Street in Cran Hall. Forget the name of it. Anyway, so driving out the estate, I takes a right to go to the estate, and the other had Porsche. So, screamed down Bellrock Street, all the way down to my wee mate's house. But his street is the one facing Edinburgh Road, right? So, parked the two motors there, and I was like, what the fucking who that is? So, I says, right, no today, you take your iron, I'll take the MR2, we'll go down to our garage, put it in there, and then we'll go and sell the iron. Right, so I'm in the MR2, out on the Bellrock Street, and the other had Porsche flying up the hill. So I've took a left, Frankie's following me to a left, down Bellrock Street, I don't know if you know it, but follows the way the bus goes, turn a left, head down the Carntine, and there a big senator came up, try to block the road. So right round about it hits turn. Frankie's went round the corner, parked the motor, left it running and rolling away and ran away. So I've screamed right along the end of the road, took a left, took the next left, and I've parked behind a motor. There's a motor behind us, and I've jumped out, and I've just looked, and a big Polish senator's hooring along the road. So
What was a senator again? Was that
senator
like a big van
was
or
a big Vauxhall senator. It was a traffic car at the time.
Right, okay.
Right? So now they've got BMWs and that, but it was Vauxhall senators at the time. So hits came screaming along. So I've jumped back into the Toyota MR2. I've locked the door, and I'm fucking shaking like fuck, trying to get a screwdriver to put into the plug to start it, right? And then the next thing, the two Polish are out, and they're trying to smash the windows and try to pull on my doors. And I just put it into reverse, and I just reversed back and pulled the steering wheel right round and done a mad fucking Top Gear backspin thing, and looked in my mirror, and the two Polish were lying in the road.
For fuck's sake.
Belted all the way along Warrison Street. Just gone too fast, came out of the hole, just couldn't stop, smashed right into a bus that was going along Cumbernauld Road. Battered my head. Dumped out, run by the bingo, and into the Ford showroom, and there's people buying motors, and I'm sniping along the flare. Right along, and at the corner there was a tyre place. Jumped into that. Big row of tyres. I jumped up with 3 rows tyres and jumped in. And next thing, the fucking tyres get booted there. The guys in the garage must have done eyes in the fucking tyres. And so they took me back round, and there's about 12 Polish trying to pull the MR, no, they're trying to get the MR2 from under the bus. And he says to me, it's all right, but I says, you didn't to get away. And it turned out the worst thing you ever say, because see, when I go to court, see the sheriff, he says that statement tells me that you're just an absolute, you would have did anything, well, you've...
So it's that old saying, isn't it? Whatever you say will be used against you in a court of law.
So that was my verbal, so I learnt for that one. But anyway, he took me to Bird Street, and they're no taking me up to the cells, right? Keep me in this wee detention room. Saying, how the fuck are you no taking me? Sorry for swearing, but how the fuck are you no taking me up to the cells? So I'm giving a snide name. I went through Falkirk Sheriff the week before as my mate, and I've got his bail form. So I said, I'll use that. So that's the name I've got. So
Hold on a minute. So you've got out in bail previously with another name?
A week previous, and I've got bail
And you've got
on a different name, and I've got the bail form. I said, I'll keep that with me. And if I get stopped, I'm bail form, that's him. So anyway, I tell him that was my name and all that. And then I chapped the window. I said, go on, let's use the toilet. And they let us out, and I just went to use the toilet. One of the screws went, all right, up. I just kept walking. into the fucking toilet. I was like, I came back out, and he's like, all right, Ab. And the thing was, so I couldn't phone my lawyer because I was using a snide name. So I done that, right? Yeah. I had to phone a duty lawyer. So a duty lawyer came and says, look, they don't think you're who you are. I said, no, who am I? I said, I'm Robert Lindsay. He says, well, they know, champ the window and tell them. So just as that, the police have come in, the traffic police. He says, charge him with attempt murder of PC Plod and PC Plod 2. So that was me up 7 day lie down. I had 7 warrants at the time, right? And they were all in Falkirk, right? So my lawyer phoned Falkirk and said that I'm in custody doing a 7 day lie down, right? So what happened was after the 7 days I went down to court. So whatever happens, I'm expecting to go to Falkirk. Even if I get bail, I'm going to Falkirk to answer all these warrants. But Falkirk, they've lifted the warrants because I'm in custody, right? So I'm down to court, doing my first petition. A petition, for people that don't know, is you do 7 days, then you go down to court for the most serious offences as a petition, and then you'll do 140 days remand if you're fully committed. If no, you'll be out on bail. So
what was your charges then for that incident? What were you up for?
I was up for, the way they worded the charge was attempted to strike the police while in reverse, while in control of the motor. So my lawyer's saying this charge doesn't make sense. But the charge didn't make sense. So I ended up, I got 12 months for it.
Right.
But see, after the 7 days, I went down and I get bail. But I'm no worrying about the bail because I've got to go to Falkirk. And Screw came in and done that. Right, Mon, you're getting out. I said, I'm going to Falkirk. He says, look, you're getting fucking out, hurry up. I said, I'm not getting out. He says, look, how much money you got in your property? I said, I don't know, 20, 40 quid. He said, I'll bet you 40 quid you're getting out, Mon. So Falkirk lifted the warrants and I get out.
You fucking kidding me?
After 7 days, aye, mate. So that was a lucky break. But
so
eventually I get 12 months for it.
12 months, but
which was a fucking...
out of all your time, right, all your prison sentences, you must have met loads of different characters, right? Some right characters in there. Is there anyone that stands out?
Aye, probably. And a lot of reviewers will know this guy. He's Hammy, the Martin Hamilton's name is.
Hammy the Poof? The Black Hole Butcher?
Or the Black Hole Butcher.
Aye.
Whatever you want. They found a wee bit of his skull and a bit of his spine.
Aye, he got murdered.
But at that time, it was done with a robbery, right? So I'm doing another 7 days, another petition. So there's 5 of us. There's me, there's Hammy, there's another guy for Poso. There's 5 of us, I don't know what to name anybody else, but that Hammy was telling us all his stories, man, honest to God. See, when he was in the bank, it'd been in 9 High Court indictments and get bail for them all. So as soon as they went in, they've tied up the cleaners, right? He says, but within, so there was him and another 3 guys. So as soon as they went in and tied up the cleaners and that, they knew it was on top, right? But they couldn't understand how it was taking so long, and it was near Christmas time, right? So this is how I'm telling this story, man, honest, I need to tell you. So he says, I don't drink. He says, but they've rattled, it was Christmas, big hamper. So they're into all the champagne and the whiskey and all that. He says, and I'm trying to phone my lawyer. and there's cunts phoning for loans. I was like, fuck off, try to get a fucking loan and all that, right? It was dead funny, honest to God.
Aye.
So anyway, he was fucking, I've lost where I was.
No, you were talking about Hammy and how when I asked you
Aye,
what
so
characters
anyway,
you were put in with him. Were you sharing a cell or you were?
Aye, we were in a cell, but
Were you?
this story, see when they eventually knew that the cameras were there and the police were there, they shouted him out first, right, or the first prisoner. So he went out and he says, I've walked out, he says, and I'm fucking drunk. He says, and there's police everywhere. He says, I've got dots fucking, he says, but there's one police, they know they're shouting. And he's shouting, turn left. So I turned right. He went, turn fucking left. He's like, whoa, 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 big thief, whoa. Go on out, I can't hear you. Come down, don't shoot me. So I turned the right way. He says, walk towards the police, the policeman line. So I've done that, walked, got me to the road, told me to go to the centre, turn, down on my knees. He says, right, fall flat in your face. I says, fuck off. Next thing I get booted in the back of the head. One secure prisoner. Anyway, back there in the cell. So the screws came down. So we were in cell 14, and in cell 13 there was 5 YOs. They were also done with heavy charges.
Right.
So they opened the 2 cells together and took us round and put us into the big toilet. And there must be about 14 just toilet pans. And that's just a wee button in the wall. And then there's a row of sinks. So, see the row of sinks? Hammy's talking to one of these VYOs. And he's talking to him about, is that your uncle? Fuck's sake, man, I know him well. He's like, see, when we go round, he says, you come into cell 14. He says, because there's a room for one more, right? So the wee guy's like, right, aye, all right, no bother. So just walking out, and Hammy's lawyer says, Martin, a wee word with you, right? So, wee man, go into cell 14. He's like, right, Hammy, no bother. He's like, fuck that, I'm going into 13 soon. And he's in cell, right?
Fucking right.
So we were sitting, hours went by. And then the next thing, Hammy's come in, he's like, where's that wee guy? Where's that wee guy? And we're like, what wee guy? He's like, see the wee guy I was talking to in the toilet? I know his uncle. I probably doing that wee guy. He wanted the wee guy in the pier. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, who's this cunt?
That's what I'm saying. He was some
Honest
serious.
to God, mate.
I heard stories
Honest
about him
to God,
before.
mate. He
Right.
wanted the wee guy in the... I don't think we forgot about the wee guy.
Aye.
But the guy that he was talking about, who was his uncle, Hammy knew him, and he must have been gay, you know what I mean?
Aye. And that's who he was wanting the wee guy in there,
Yeah,
so
he
he
was
could
wanting
have
the wee
his
guy
sorted
in.
way with him.
I don't know.
But I know he had a
They told us to
reputation.
turn the ball anyway.
He didn't try it in you, did he? No, but that just shows you.
He's, but what a funny man he was.
Aye.
Oh,
So-
the stories, the stories he was telling were not, seriously.
I know, but he ended up a right bad bastard in the end, didn't he?
Oh,
And
man, there was no doubt he was who he was.
Aye.
I
So
know.
see when you were, I know you've told me about all your charges, 22 different sentences. There's one there you showed me on your charge sheet. It was escaping from police custody and then being on the run. You were on the news. All of these things. Can you talk me through that?
That was Dungavel, semi-open.
Right.
I'd only 15 weeks to go. And one of the lifers, his sister was my ma's best pal. So at visits you could get up and go to the toilet in this semi-open. So this lifer used to come here and sit and talk to my ma about the old times in the Carlton and all that. So he's at a visit a couple of weeks later, he's got these wee zonks, and he thought they were white Valium. So he's got 20 of them. 2 of them, they're like ketamine, they blow the head right off you. They're actually horse tranquilizers, right? So he thought they were white Valium, and him and another guy, doing 15 year, took 10 each, right? So in Dungarevo at the time, you didn't see an officer. In the morning, you went for your breakfast and he'd be standing by the muster board, and you'd go and say, Lindsay, and he'd take your name, and it'd be the same at dinner time, and the same at... So, dinner time, they've got to come to the muster board, right? So, Davy, he didn't even go to get his dinner. He didn't attempt it. He bounced out of the screw.
Because he's full of these 10 horse tranquilizers, whatever it
He
is.
tried to tell him his name, and the screw went, you're a full of drink or drugs, up to the MO, who's the medical officer, till we get a push test. So, in this semi-open, he flew the doors. So he took it and all that. So, the other guy comes. He's eat his dinner, and he's duff. His duff is your pudding, right? He bounced out of the board and tried to point and dropped all the fucking dinner, all the screws, trousers, and on the board. And he's done that. What the fuck he doing? And he's dropped all his custard, and he done that off you and all. So the lifer was getting out 3 days a week, going to Motherwell College.
Right.
Training for freedom. He'd done 15 years or something. And the other guy, he's outside gardens. So he was driving about in a wee thingy outside. And once you had to be a C cat to get there, but once you were a D cat, when your visitors came up, you could take them into the woods. Used to plant carry roots and then throw them there. It was nuts, it was crazy. So, in the Monday, it says to the lifer, you're not going to your placement. You're inside till we get the results of your urine. And the other guy who was doing the gardens, it says you're inside gardens, is he? So, he come to me just at dinner time. He's like, you steal a motor for us tonight? And I'm in the jail, right? I said, he's fucking full out for you last night.
So how long did you have left again?
15 weeks.
You only had 15 weeks and they were asking you to steal a motor, break out, steal a motor and get them out of there?
No, I don't know. It's the break out. His dad just asked me, you steal a motor for us tonight? I just say, I was never lying to myself. What's he fucking on about, man?
Aye.
Right? Seen him later on, supper time. Never said a word, nothing. So, you could walk round the inside of the fence. You had your own clays. You could buy your own clays up there. So, you could walk round the fence and wait for you could see the motors coming down the hill. And if you seen your visitor, then you run back in.
You knew that was you to get up.
So, my 2 pals are coming to see me. And the next thing, the lifers came up to me with a big screwdriver. He's like, right, mon. I was like, where? He's like, you stealing a motor from me tonight? I was like, what the fuck's this about, man?
So you're already mixed up in it before you know it?
Lifers, I can't say no. So I was like, give us a minute, man. So I went up to it, and there was one guy in my dorm who didn't have a quilt. So I gave him a quilt. I got as much clays on as I could get on. And I stole us one. What they did was cut the fence with a big set of garden shears.
Right.
But they cut it on an L shape. Right? So, this is 7:05. The visitors came in at 7. So, everybody's running about kicking the fence to try and find a hole. And big, I was going to name him, the big guy found a hole. So he's pulled it open and then we all went through.
Aye.
So my mate who's in visiting me, his motor's there, and I've got a screwdriver, so I can only steal a Vauxhall. So next to his motor, there was a Vauxhall Nova.
Is this in the car
This
park
is
of
in
the
the
prison?
car park of the prison,
Right, okay.
right? There's people walking into visits, right? We're off lying in the grass, and the steering lock on the brake. And that life was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I said, can I get this? And I spied another one. It was a Nova GTE. Jumped there, cracked the steering lock. They always broke. Got that in the motor. So the lifer, the guy doing 15 years, was in the back. Bank robber was doing 8 years in the front. And I'm driving. And away we went. And going down the road, this fucking bank robber's like, stop and I'll rob him. Stop and I'll rob. And I said, pull that back seat down. I says, because see what's in the back. Because that's what I used to always do check your back, what's in the boot, check, you know what I mean? And it was a Screws uniform. So he's his PT kit and you know what I mean?
Fuck's sake.
With the Screws hat on and all that, going down the road. And I was like, oh, it was nuts, man. So
did you so see once were you heading back to Glasgow?
Heading to Glasgow, but he's wanting to rob every petrol station, so
Aye.
eventually dropped him off in Duke Street. And I phoned my missus and I done that. I've escaped, churro. Because she'd have went mental, you know what I mean? And the next time I phoned her, she's all worried. So I've still got the guy that's staying 8 years in the motor. So I went up to the Casey, seen my missus, and then went to his girlfriend's ma's house. And the motor's still outside. And the mad done that, son, could you move that motor? I said, I no bother. So we went down, set it on fire, and put it in the Clyde at South Street. So the motor's in the Clyde.
See, by this point, are you still in your company? Have you parted ways? You get rid of him?
No, I'm still with a guy doing 8 years, and I'm in Yoka, right?
Right.
So I phoned my mate Paul, who was up visiting me, with my other mate.
Aye.
So he's like, yeah, I says, look, going to come and get me. I'm at Yoka. I'll be in the roundabout and I'll be with a guy with a pit bull. So he comes and gets me. I'm in the back seat and he's brought a scanner. So the scanner's saying, look out for a Golf GTI. It was G321 something, using a prison breakout. Find it, leave it for forensic, gun and ammunition on board. Gun and ammunition on board. So Paul's like, what the fuck's this about a gun? I don't know. I says, we checked the fucking back. So, see when we were driving away, the life was like, right, we forced you out. And I was like, look, that's an abduction for you. I says, we've all got our own clothes on, we'll just say we could run home in a White Sierra. So, just by pure luck, they two got caught the next day. They went into the gantry bar in Shuttleson and gave a wee guy £100 to go and buy heroin. And they came out, went to Shuttleson police station, said they had two guys that have escaped are in that pub.
Fuck's sake.
So they get caught. So it kind of took the heat off of me and the guy doing 8 years.
So then you were the only one out then? So how long?
No, me and the guy doing 8 years.
Oh, sorry, right.
So I went to see him and we escaped on the Monday night. It was 18th of October 1993. My daughter was only 8 months. And as I said, only 15 weeks to go.
It's crazy, isn't it? So,
madness.
by that point, were you all the news? Everybody looking for you? Were they saying you were armed and dangerous because of the gun that was in the motor?
No, so much that. Just see the lifers, right? The public don't know who is a lifer and who is the car thief. So the forays were heavy violent, not to be approached or that. So the public don't know who's who. So when they two, I'm in my wee pal's house and we're watching 12 o'clock news and it said that 2 of them have been recaptured. So I phoned the other wee guy who was doing 8 year. He says, no, Mirab. So I knew that was them. So they were...
So when did it come on top on you then? When did they start to track you down? Where were you at the time?
Oh, listen, see my visit card, right? Every single person on my visit card, all my family, aunties, uncles, pals, doors, boom, right in. Serious crime squad up at my ma's house, right? Where is he? My ma says, I don't know where he is. Oh, he phones me, I'm alright, ma. And that's it. They says, look, Mrs. Lindsay, we'll put a wee tap on your phone. And when Robert phones you, just press a button. And my ma went, see if you want my boy caught, you fucking catch him. I bet he'll no notice you. My ma says, aye, that's right. But I'll know. So get the fuck out of the house. It was actually a deal.
But that's that old East End way, do you know what I mean? You
know
can't
what I
break
mean?
them.
So, but I had a couple of close with them.
So talk me through the time where they did track you down. Eventually, when you were caught, where were you hiding out? Where was your hideout?
I was everywhere.
At that time where they came and got you that time. Eventually, how long were you out for?
I was out 10 weeks.
10 weeks. You the longest one out.
Aye, I was the wee guy in the bank. Escaped on Monday, get caught on the Thursday, right? So I was the last man out. So, but they nearly caught me. I was see my mate that came up. I was in his house, and I was with my wee mate. So there's 4 days, and the guy at the house was walking about starkers, and I was like, my mate says the mob's already been to my house. He says, but I didn't let them in, and they went away. So they're rattling the door. There's a row of shops, and there's 2 stories, right? So we're in the tap, and this cunt's walking about, bollock, holding his... I was like, fucking stop walking about. He's fucking still out there. So my other mate's at the window, and he can see the bullets more. And he's done that, right, that's that way. So it's a landing, and then down a back court, and then down the van up, and then down again. So I've shoved my mate out first, and then I went out. I went, they might be down below. Next thing, the 2 police popped their head. Oh, you're right. So I threw my mate out the landing, went in and locked the door, and went the window, and it we had 20 windows at the top. Squeezed myself out, and there was nowhere to go. And I just sat in the window ledge and just jumped, and I landed on the deck, battered my head, and just jumped to the wall. And I was just at the wall, lying down, and the police are like, right, back secure. So my mate's like, they've done that, right, give me a they brought my wee mate back in, and they've done that. He's a thing with the Lindsay fella. So he's done that. 5'6", right, stocky build, brown eyes. I've got blue eyes. Me mate's got brown eyes. Got one man. So
they've grabbed him thinking he's you
him away,
with the description.
Like, no, I'm not. And my other mate's like, just go. And and that'll be it. So that was one near thing when I nearly get caught. But
so when did you get caught then?
I get caught on the 23rd of December in a bedsit.
Whereabouts?
Springboy Road.
2 days before Christmas.
I appeared at... what happened was that night, the next night we were going to stay with our pal, and I've got woke up with my missus saying, Rabbers cunts booting fuck out the front door. So we're in a Victorian house, if you can imagine, how often do.
Aye.
So you come in the front, stairs all the way up, So I went out, down 3 stairs and then into the toilet and opened the window. I've only got my boxers on, pair of trainers. And I've opened the window and there's 2 big screws just saying, back in me, man. And I've looked and the crime squad were coming up the stairs with baseball bats. So I've just jumped out the toilet window and flattened one of the screws right in his head, man. Fucking right here. For there, right, jumped to the next hedge and go to the next street parallel. And there's 2 screws standing saying, just go back, jump to another hedge. Next thing I heard, so fucking held and tell me. So they've got me, and they've got me kneeling down, cuffed my ankles and cuffed my hand behind my back. So my missus, she's just got my denim shirt on. And they're like, here, you get fucking something on. And see the guy that I flattened?
Aye.
He came in for the side, never saw him, and kneed me right in my jaw.
Right.
Actually snapped my jaw right down. Because when I got to Berlin, it was actually on my wisdom tooth, the fracture line.
So he's been that raging. You've flattened him if he jumped out the window.
I know the way, because of my MR, he's booted me, kneed me that hard. I've knocked the telly off a stone, and my missus is shouting, fucking leave him alone. And then they all just fucking dragged me about, and then all they were asking about was this firearm. Where's this gun?
Is that the one that was in the car?
The one that was in the car.
When you stole the vehicle for the prison?
We didn't know it. I think we didn't know it.
Because one of them mad bastards would have took that and done a robbery.
Honest to God, we never... So, because the lifers and the other boys got caught, they said they get run home in a white chair, right? The wee bank robber got caught. They said, I'm going to ask you about the theft of a vehicle on the night you escaped. I was in it. You were in it? Who was in it? 4s. How were you sitting? I was in the front passenger seat. He says, so who was in the back? He says, the lifer and the guy in 15 years. He says, so Mr. Lindsay was driving then? I had to watch you and see my lawyer. He says, but you put 4s in the motor, you're in the passenger seat, the 2 mad bastards in the back. He says, so Mr. Lindsay's driving. Do I say to my lawyer? Then what happened? They get dropped off. Then what happened? I get dropped off. He says, so Mr. Lindsay ended up with a motor. Do I understand to see my lawyer? He says, but
you're basically sticking him in, but you're no.
So, the 3 of them before going to Dungavel had came from Perth prison. So, they all went back there, right? So, I went back to Berlin, and one of the lifer boy wrote me a letter. He says, look, he says, your wee mate was Grastis. I said, no, he has. I says, but nothing to do with me. I says, I white Sierra all the time. So, when I got back to that with the police, they were lying me, and I'm going to ask you about theft of a vehicle. I said, I get her name, the white Sierra. So then that's when they threw me down the other boy's transcript, but it said the 4s were in the motor.
So he stuck you in, but so
we got to Hamilton Sheriff Court. It was nuts, right? I've came from Berlin and I've single van with 4 screws, and they've all came from Perth with 3 separate vans with 4 screws in each. So into the dock, 2 oldest ones were thing me together, and then there was me, and then there was the boy down the bank, and we're cuffed together, and our lawyers were brilliant. But what they did was they put us in the women's cells, right? So I'm there first, then the wee bank robber come in, and then the lifer come in. And then the next thing I know, he's got a blade, and he's wanting to take the face off the wee bank robber. And I was like, look, hang on a minute, man, wait till we fuck up and see what happens. He says, see if we get up here and we get hammered. He says, I'm going to end up doing another 10 years because he's a lifer. He says, so see me went up in the court. It was there was 2 screws, then the 4s, and then 2 screws in the bench. And then there was the other 10 all behind us. And they all took their hats off, not at the same time. It was nuts. And our lawyers were brilliant. Our lawyers were like that. The lifer was out 3 days a week. He said, so the charge read, the 4 E's did well stacked together, cut a hole in the perimeter fence, escape therefrom, immediately abscond. So they had us cutting a hole in the fence, which is organised, right? They had us escaping and absconding. So we were thinking, we're in trouble
We're looking
here.
at 10 years here or something.
So the lawyers were like, look, see, cutting the hole, there's no proof of cutting the hole. So that got took out of the charges. So at the end up, it only ended up us 4 walking round, finding a hole and going through it.
So
right?
what was the charge there? What did you end up with
So
at the end?
The two big guys, the lifer and the other boy. The lifer got 2 months to start for that day because it was, and the other 3 years all get 2 months added.
It's a result then, isn't it?
Done well, mate. You know what I mean?
Honestly, what a story that one is. Before, so I know you were in active addiction through all the years in prison, with all different types of drugs, heroin being the worst. I know now, I don't know how accurate I am, but is it 14 years you've been after gear now?
14 years, 100% total.
Aye, no, well done to that.
What happened was, I got out on the 2nd of April, 1999, and get out, and usual, you go for a bag, and I says, come on, 8 months, let me make a millennium, man, come on. 3 weeks later, a 90-mile-an-hour car chase for the Forge, right down Springfield Road, right down into Dalmarnock at the time.
Aye.
Me and Georgie, and ended up lost that police, and seen I get into Dalmarnock, turned a corner, and there was 2 police getting into another motor. So I've skidded round a few corners, parked it in a wee scheme and ran into a house, right? So the wee guy's playing all this orange, flute band music, and he's like, so we've ran in, but it was a mad setup. The back door's there, and there was a long corridor to the front door. And then halfway, there was stairs. So my missus, a couple of stairs up, sitting, and I'm sitting, I was like, look, I'm not causing you any bother, the police are chasing us. He's like, look, mate, you need to go, man, honest. And then next thing, the back door went, police, open the door. And I, fuck off, and fired out the front door. So they've ran right by my missus. So when they all ran by her, she just went out and went that way. And I've got to my mate's close, get in the close, and he's like, give us a minute to get the keys. Next thing, handcuffs.
That was you again.
Fucking, that was me
again.
again. So I'm in, sitting with my lawyer in the police station. He says, Robert, he says, you're going to get 3 years. He says, and I can't appeal it. I cannot appeal it.
Because
he
of all your
says-
previous and stuff like that.
But see, during the 18 months I did to get me out on the 2nd of April, that I was telling you about, I spent 4 weeks in the Berlin Special Unit. It was a drug rehab unit. So what I did was I took you out of jungles, which is the big halls, and you were there for 4 weeks, and it was just a rehabilitation for 4 weeks. You had 3 urines a week. It was a safe house. So we were actually there's 5 cells in the bottom and there's 5 cells in the top. And we were actually in the actual special unit for 4 weeks. And I got a laminated certificate saying that I'd completed Berlin's drug addiction unit. Right? So I never ever had I used the drug card at court. I just went, aye, right, guilty. So I was like, my lawyer, look, going to tell him I've got a fucking raging mad fucking drug habit. And he's like that. I said, I'll tell him that. I says, look, I've got the thing me. I said, I brought it down with me. I says, I did the Berlin Addiction Project. And when you came out of there, you didn't go back into the halls. They just opened the drug rehab, the drug, can't remember, another drug support unit in D-Hall. So that was for everybody that came out the drug rehab unit, right? So you were doing urines in there and all. So I showed them all that, and the judges like that, right? Going through my previous convictions and that. He says, I say, I'm quite impressed with this. You're
drug
trying,
rehabilitation and stuff like that.
Thing me. He says, what I'm going to do is, he says, I'm going to call for reports. He says 3 weeks reports. So ended up during the time I get 6 months.
And you were talking about 3 years.
I was guaranteed 3 years
because you went into that programme, but
aye. What he did was he gave me 6 months, right? So see, during the 6 months, I wrote to my drug worker and I got my funding for Phoenix House, and it was a 12-month rehab, but the door was open, you could go home, but it was a safe house, it was brilliant, it was, so I managed to get a...
Really into recovery then?
Well, what happened was I had to get funding, and at that time the funding was £18,000, and then I had to get somebody for Phoenix House to come and see me, or during the 6 months, which he did 4 months then at the time. It wasn't half remission. So this woman Wendy came up, and she was telling me all about Phoenix House, and she's like, look, because you're coming in clean and you don't need a detox bed, the first bed available I can get you in. She says, but you need to get your funding. So John, my drug worker, he got the funding. So I get suit on the 2nd of September. And I was phoning Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Phoenix House, is my any bed yet, any bed yet, any bed yet. So it comes 2nd week, I start dabbling.
So you're back on it again?
Started dabbling. 29th of September, I get a phone call for Wendy. This is about 10 o'clock in the morning. She's like, right, Robert, that's your bed. This time we've got a habit again,
so you're
right?
fucked.
So I was like, my missus is I've got the vein and I can't, and she went, where's the fucking big hard man now for Berlin that wants to get clean, that wants to do this and do that? If you're no here tomorrow for 1:30, your bed's no there, Judo. So big wake up call. definitely wanted to get clean. Phoned John, my drug worker. I says, look, you need to pick me up. You really need to, or I won't go. So I went in and I rattled. I did the rattle. I didn't get any detox. And I did the programme. And other than the blip that I had, that was 3 or 4 years, I had be 24 years clean.
It's fucking, it's honestly,
So that
Robert,
was me.
I could listen to your story all day long. I'm sure we'll have a part 2 along the line somewhere. Is there anything else you would like to add before we finish up on the episode?
No, as long as you're happy, mate.
Oh, I'm happy with that, but there's one more thing. I know your daughter's writing a story about your life story. I'm sure the title was Ringer.
The title's
I don't know if it's been decided yet, but I know there's a book and they're talking about making like a movie about it as well, because it's some story, I must say.
I mean, there's that many. I mean, when stories come into my head, I phone my daughter and I tell her. I mean, I got chased in Edinburgh once, and I jumped into a garden and this big daft screw was standing in my horn. And he's shouting, he came in here, I'm sure. He's standing in my fucking horn.
And you're just hiding in the bushes or something?
I had to lie there covered in frost till I definitely knew they were away. And stole
honestly, no, the stories are amazing. I could sit and listen to you all day long.
Listen,
and it's been an absolute honour to have you on the show. You're a legend.
Mate, I just hope it kicks off you. And
I've got nothing but respect for you. And thanks for coming on.
You bought it, mate.
And I wish you well for the future.
Thank you, mate. I wish you well, no.